Greetings, football fans. This is the ESPN LA USC Trojan Media Network.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Are you ready for some football?
And here we go. It is Trojans Live on this Monday, April 6th, 2026.
Ava back in, winds and throws. Jacoby Lane again. That's his second touchdown catch. Catches it at the goal line, steps in, and that's a big how do you do.
Spring football is upon us, and today, a very special show. Your host, Jordan Moore, and his co-host, the voice of USC women's basketball, the one and only Eli Kleinmann.
A March miracle has arrived for USC.
Jordan and Eli will talk to General Manager of USC Football, Chad Bowden. Plus, we'll cover all going down in USC athletics. Trojans Live Spring Football Edition. Let's do it. Trojans Live for this Monday right now. The exclusive USC Trojans Coaches Show. Behind-the-scenes insights and breaking news from the student athletes who play for the Cardinal and Gold. Trojans Live is presented by Monster Energy. Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Unleash the beast.
Now live from Los Angeles, inside Heritage Hall, here is your host, Jordan Moore.
Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore, welcoming Eli Kleinmann as my co-host for this final Trojans Live here of spring, and then Chad Bowden, the USC Football General Manager, who's been with us before our GM interview presented by I Trust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Spring football wrapping up here. So many positive things to talk about, Chad, around this program. The recruiting class, staff changes, just a ton of momentum as we head into the summer, as we head into another big season. What are you seeing in terms of alignment across the football program and the entire athletic department?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the resources that were poured into this football program, not just staff, but our players. We had such a great offseason and retention. You saw, obviously, we have the most starters returning in the Big Ten. Obviously, we have a great recruiting class that just came in. You look at, between Coach Riley, Jen Cohen, myself, there's just such great alignment that you see in this program, and you could just feel it in the building right now. There's a lot of really great positive things that are happening, and I just can't wait to get to fall camp.
Recruiting continues to be one of the most important parts of college football. Yep. In your opinion, what separates those top programs in terms of recruiting?
Well, I think it's coaches that are willing to build genuine relationships. We got some phenomenal coaches. I look at, Trevon Reed. I look at guys like Chad Savage. These guys are phenomenal recruiters because they really care about the kids. And then you look at our front office, guys like Dre Brown, Weston, Dog, Max. These guys, they care about young people. When you have a staff, when you have a coaching staff, a front office, every member of the program that truly cares about helping these kids reach their full potential, that's when you have something really special. And I think the kids that we're recruiting, they feel it, they know it. And it's a credit to the coaches, credit to the front office, credit to everybody in the building, for where this program's going, where it's heading.
You're listening to USC Football General Manager Chad Bowden here on Trojans Live. And, as we go into this massive season ahead, we were having a long conversation on this show, looking at the schedule and sort of breaking it down. How do you view it when you look at, the schedule ahead? Is there ways that
the schedule's perfect. It's exactly what this program needs it to be. I think the Big Ten did a great job. I've had a lot of different people come up to me, whether it's donors, fans. A lot of different people have talked to me about the schedule. We don't need excuses. That's not what we're looking for. We're ready. This is a great football team. They love each other. It's a great staff. It is the most perfect schedule for this program, and we cannot wait to play in those games.
And it's such a huge opportunity in the Coliseum, and we are just going to have some massive games. And when you think about getting fired up, I mean that's what it is for so many people, right? Just the opportunity that the schedule lays out for us.
Absolutely, to be able to have some of those games, at home, and we all know those games, right? And we have the best fan base in the country. We do, and some of the games last year, I look at that Michigan game, that game to me was what I always felt USC, was like, back in the early 2000s. And I think we're going to have that type of atmosphere all year long this year, because I think people know what we're going to do this year. And I really look forward to seeing the Collie lit for some of these games.
Yeah, that crowd against Michigan was special.
Unbelievable.
With the Bloom football facility building almost done, where does that serve as a resource in terms of helping this program?
Well, I mean, our guys, they're in the facility 24/7, so it's such a great benefit, for their experience, the student athlete experience, to be in the facility, the type of recovery that's going to be in there, the new tech that we have, the type of investment that's in that building. People don't understand. Like, they think they're in a bunch of different, places on campus. They're mostly housed right in that football facility. So for us to be able to have that for our guys, it's really gonna change the game for this program. And obviously, we're in it 24/7 too. We don't leave. So it's going to be awesome for staff too, and really look forward to seeing, the Bloom opening here soon. It's going to be big time for us.
When we think about you and talk about you and your front office, we often talk about personnel and the roster and those kind of things. Right. What are the other things that are going on that the front office is focused on that maybe the fans don't know as much about?
Yeah, I think, every year you evaluate, the program and areas that it can get better, and a lot of people don't really know, what that looks like. For us, we as a program, Coach Riley, we had a lot of discussions this offseason about what we can do that's best for our players. And we've increased our nutrition budget, and Rachel Suba has been phenomenal. And now what we're doing with the players, meals are a little bit different. So we've increased our nutrition budget. We've also increased our equipment budget to where our guys are getting more gear because we care about them, and it's always special. I want more gear too. You know what I mean? I want more gear too. So just trying to do certain things for our players, right? We've taken the coaches off the road. Our coaches won't be really on the road as much anymore because they're going to be here with our players. Because that's what this is about. It's about where are you investing your time, and that's what we really looked at this offseason to try to enhance this football program. And I'm fired up. You look at the job that Coach True's done down there in the weight room with these guys, the culture, where things are. I mean, it's night and day, and he's done a phenomenal job. You look at even what we're doing with our players right now. They're doing player events with each other now more than they ever have. They're going to Top Golf. They're going bowling. They're going to a place called Cosm. I've never been there, but I heard it's unbelievable.
Cosm, I got to go too. Cosm looks sick.
It looks unbelievable, right? But like it's about investing in these in our players, in our guys. And on the flip side of it, in recruiting, it's like recruiting's one thing, but don't you want your coaches and don't you want staff to be with your kids more when they're actually there?
Yep.
Like, isn't that what this is all about, is developing them while they're here? And that's what we've done. And I think it's going to pay huge dividends. It's a credit to every single department. Our player development department's taken another step up. We have more player development events for our players, enhancing them more off the field. Whether it's, financial literacy or gambling education. I mean, we're doing everything we can to help our guys become so well-rounded. It's a credit to Clark Stroud and his player development staff. There's just so much going on in the program. I can't emphasize enough that is completely aligned, that there's a method to a madness. There's just so much going on that you can feel so positive. I wish people could feel what's going on inside these walls, because it truly is special. It's going to be an unbelievable season.
And it's funny, as you talk, it makes me think of the power of this city, too. With so many of the things you listed, just
best city in the world,
are not available in other places, right? I mean, there's just so many opportunities to develop the well-rounded student athlete here than there are other places.
That's right. Our players, they're going to be the most well-rounded in the country. You know what I mean? Because we have the type of resources that no one does, and we're utilizing them, and it's only going to be better for our guys, for them in the future.
In terms of this weekend, spring football wrapping up, Fan Appreciation Day, Swim with Mike, what's there to look forward to this weekend?
Well, first off, we have the best fans in the country. We do. There's nothing like the USC football fan base. So this is going to be it's a really big deal for us because we're going to take the time. Our players are going to take the time. They're going to take hours of their day to be with our fan base. They could truly get to know them, get around them. I know there's going to be like face painting and stuff going on. I mean, that's I might even get my face painted. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see our fan base show up. Our players are excited; they're talking about it. And then obviously the Swim with Mike thing is it's a huge deal. The cause, it's a great charity event. We look forward. Our guys are going to be there. I'm going to ask a couple guys to go off the high dive. I'll go off if they make me go off too. But it's going to be a phenomenal event. We're excited for it. We're really excited for Saturday, and hopefully our fans will show up and be there because our players are really, really excited. And this is one of those years where if you're a fan, don't show up in December. Please show up now. And then as you show up now, hopefully we'll see you there that first game in August, and then we'll get this thing rolling.
I should have looked it up. Do you know how many days are left till kickoff? It's got to be something like 125, 150 or something like that?
Something like that.
And I'm counting them. Ready to go.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your intensity always, your excitement. You got us fired up today, and huge opportunity this weekend to be around this team, be a part of the momentum of this program. Again, I know everyone out there who's watching is excited about what's going on here too. So appreciate you taking the time,
awesome.
Chad.
Thanks, guys.
With us, we get a chance to talk to two of your players here coming up, ready to take it to the next level. Unleash the Beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the Beast. And Trojans Live is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino, a proud partner of USC Football. Marcelus Williams is here. Tobias Raymond is too. Marcelus is going to go first next on Trojans Live. Welcome back to Trojans Live. Our Best in the Game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. And it's Marcelus Williams, who's now a redshirt sophomore, already in his third year with the program. It all happened so fast. Jordan Moore, Eli Kleinmann here with Marcelus. What's been the focus of your offseason, Marcelus?
I feel like just attacking every day, trying to get better, building a better relationship with the team. Everybody's just trying to grow into one team, one mindset, because we know we all got goals to accomplish next year. So I feel like just trying to get better every way I can as a leader, in the weight room, anything, just trying to get better every way I can.
So much of this team is returning. How nice is it to have that continuity through the spring as you guys get ready for next season?
I feel like it's a great thing because just having guys you've been around, like Tobias, like people in my room, like we got RJ Sermons, we got Keese, we got Kennedy Urlacher coming back. A lot of guys that was just around last year that I know will have an even bigger impact this year moving forward. So I feel like that's just a great thing we can have.
How different is this offseason for you coming off a year in which you played so much, right? I mean, that first year is developmental. Last year you were a key component of this team. You were really pushed out there every single game in the spotlight. How does that change all that information you gathered as you go into this season?
I feel like that just provides me like a platform to just take another step forward because like now having all these games under my belt, being in those situations, I feel like now I could do a better job. Like I could just do a better job just having a year under my belt. My mind, my IQ's higher. I could understand the game more. I could play faster. Like all the little things I think that I could have did last year, I think I could get over that and I could do it this year and build on it and so on and so forth.
I mean, now Jordan mentioned redshirt sophomore, really, academic junior. Now is one of the upperclassmen on this team, and with so many young guys coming in as well. Like, how has that role shifted for you in terms of becoming more of a leader, especially in your room?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like last year, towards the middle to the end of the season, when I started playing more, and I tried to take on that role a little bit, tried to talk more, tried to be more of a leader towards other guys. So I feel like that just put me in position this year to do it like even more this year because I know it's a lot of people that probably be looking up to me, seeing how I do things, how I move, like how I work every day. I feel like so as long as I do what I'm supposed to do is I lead them the right way and show them what to do. I feel like they could follow and we could get better and better every year.
You're listening to USC cornerback Marcelus Williams on Trojans Live, and I was always a big fan of your older brother Max. He had some tough injury luck, during his time, but was always just sort of a natural playmaker. But you as a younger brother, you got to watch him, right? You were probably up in the stands, you were on the field, you got to experience it at home. What did that do for you? How did that help you sort of be ready for this college experience?
I feel like honestly, nothing like could prepare you for being out there in front of like 80, 100,000 people.
Got to do that one yourself.
Yeah, it's a little different, but just seeing the atmosphere, seeing like how he plays, being able to talk to him about some of the different situations he's been in, like what's helped him get through it. I feel like that was some of the stuff that could have helped me.
So many players on this team are from Southern California, guys you played with in high school or played against. What is the relationship like with such an infusion of Southern California players?
I mean, there's a lot of guys that's from Southern California, but we also have a lot of guys from like all over everywhere. So I feel like as one group, we're just all becoming one. It doesn't matter where you're from. Like we got Floyd, he's from Canada who moved to Florida. Like it doesn't really matter where you're from. But I feel like as a team, we're all just building one bond and becoming one team together. And I feel like that's what's gonna really help us this year. So
your position coach is Trojans Reed. What's it been like playing for him, getting to know him?
Yeah, I really like Trojans Reed. That's my dog, T. It's my second year with him now, so I feel like that first year he really helped me a lot, and I feel like this year we know like what my plan is for me to take that extra step to get better and better and really have a ball this year, even better than I did last year. So I feel like he's a really good coach. He's helped me improve every day, get to talk to him, see all the mistakes I made, but really, he's a really good coach.
Season is coming up quickly, obviously the summer, but won't be here. It won't be very long. What are you looking forward to most about getting back on the field in the Coliseum?
Just the fans, the atmosphere, like Chad was talking about earlier, like the atmosphere in Michigan. I feel like we should have that all season long this year, and I feel like the people, like he was talking about earlier, like the people knows like what we're going to do this year. So I feel like, it's just going to be a crazy atmosphere, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
I feel like cornerback is the toughest position to play in this sport right now. It just seems like all the rules have been written against you guys. It makes it very difficult on you. What do you think is like the toughest route to defend? What's the toughest part about playing that position?
I feel like playing a corner, like the biggest thing you need to have is confidence. You can't ever, because at the end of the day, like bad things are gonna happen, mistakes are gonna be made, but are you going to line up that next play and go attack it the same way you did before? Like, I feel like that's the biggest thing. Because at DB, like, you could give up one play and then, like, it could be all things could be going wrong. Everybody could be looking at you, pointing a finger at you, but you're still going to be in the game, or you're still going to there's still more plays to be made. So I feel like just going up there the next play and lining up and making that next play, that's, like, the biggest thing.
Where do you feel like being a starter last year, you took the biggest step forward and getting you ready for this season?
Kind of like what I was just saying, like confidence, just going out there, like first few games, like it was just a little different being out there. Like my first game in the Cali, I never played in the Cali for real, so it was just a great experience for me. And it's going on as we start getting the games like Oregon and stuff like that. I feel like it just prepared me to get better and better every game.
NFL draft is coming up. You got to battle, Makai Lemon, Jacoby Lane, just as a young kid out there on the practice field. I mean, how much did that help your development going up against, two absolute star receivers?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For 2 straight years, I've been going up against them. So I feel like we made each other better every day. Like sometimes they'll get me, sometimes I'll get them. But I feel like just coming to USC, like those are some of the things like you expect. Like you come here to be great, and you come here to have those battles at practice and then to go win on Saturdays in the Cali. So I feel like just, it was great.
What about this receiving core? Who stood out in spring in your battles?
We have a lot of great receivers on our team. Like we got guys like Caden, a lot of different guys on the offensive side, Trine, Terrell, Anderson. Like they've all been doing really good. The offense been doing really good. The defense been doing really good. We just all been battling every day. A lot of guys made plays. A lot of different things happened, but I feel like it's been a good atmosphere even this year. Even though Jacoby and Makai left, we still got a lot of good receivers, a lot of good DBs, and I feel like we're still making each other better every day.
All right, can't wait to see you out there this fall. Marcelus Williams has become one of the leaders of this USC defense. Hey, Trojan fans, did you know the Ralph's app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons? You can earn fuel points, too. Check out the app today and save while you cheer us on to another great season. Ralph's, proud partner of USC Athletics, and Monster Energy, the official energy drink partner of USC. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Thank you to Marcellus. Tobias Raymond, his teammate. USC offensive line is next on Trojans Live. Fight on, Trojans, and fly on with ONT. Ontario International Airport is a proud sponsor of our USC Trojans. Visit SoCalSoEasy.com to start planning your next vacation today, and don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Welcome back to Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Eli Kleinmann, and one of my faves here, Tobias Raymond, now a redshirt junior. So you have been around for a while, but really stepped into the spotlight last season. And last season we talked so much about your versatility, sort of that Swiss Army knife role. Have you been still working like that in the spring? Have you locked more in on one position? What's sort of the plan for you these days?
Yeah, so it's always going to be about versatility, you know. Coaches always throw me in at different positions and just different lineups, different guys next to me, and I think that's always something I'm going to try and keep a part of my game is being able to play multiple positions because obviously that brings more value when you can play more positions, and eventually when I get to the league, that's the goal, is to have a lot of places that I can play at, so yeah.
Do you have a favorite spot? Obviously versatility is great, but do you have a spot you prefer if you could choose?
Honestly, no. Right when I started playing guard, I would have said like, yeah, man, I wish I could go back and just play like just tackle. But at this point, like I've gotten a lot of reps at, I'd say like all of the positions. So I'd say like I'm feeling pretty comfortable at all of them. I wouldn't say I have a standout favorite per se.
You know, when I was preparing sort of spring preview and looking at this team, the biggest thing that stood out to me from a personnel standpoint, the thing I'm most optimistic about is continuity at the offensive line. I mean, what a luxury. You know, I mean, obviously people look at things and they go, oh, man, Mekhi left and Jacoby left. But, man, a great offense is built around that offensive line, and it's the one spot where like it really helps to bring people back. Explain that to people, how you guys work together interchangeably, the relationships that you build, and that sort of, you know, that five fingers turning into a fist that you guys can create over the years.
Yeah, it's always great to return as many linemen as we have. And that's always something that, like, in terms of leadership too, like you have guys that know the plays, and the young guys get brought along so much faster when there's so many more guys to like, because when you're looking at it as an older guy and you're watching five guys like in one of these like walkthroughs that we're doing, like it's tough to like know which one's doing something that might be wrong. So having so many older guys, like you can watch and see so many things that are going on, and everybody gets brought along so much faster. But then also just returning five guys like and then more in the depth chart, like that's always something that's amazing for an O-line because you've played together and you know how someone plays, and you have that like comfortability playing next to each other. So it's always huge to have the guys that return and have some like playing, some familiarity playing next to each other.
Adding on to that continuity with Jaden also returning, how important is that in those big games, especially in like tough road environments where it can get loud, to have the quarterback and all five offensive linemen that have been there before?
Yeah, it's always awesome. Just speaking on Jaden was one of those guys that like whenever he walks into the huddle, like he has that cool, like calm collectedness about himself. So when he does that, like walks in the huddle, like, and maybe we had a bad drive or something, but we come back to the next drive and he's walking up to us and like, guys, we got this. Like, we just got to play our ball and we're going to be just fine. And that's always something that's super nice when you're getting into a huddle. And so that just returning Jaden as well is huge for us as well.
You're listening to Tobias Raymond on Trojans Live. I love the offensive lineman personality type, and I'm stereotyping here. Not all offensive linemen are the same, but it's you know, there's different position groups in a football team that tend to attract different types of personalities, and you have this really cerebral, you know, academic way around you. I'm curious what your energy is like before a game. I always think back, one of my favorite USC games that I covered was 2011 up at Oregon when USC beat a top 5 Oregon team, and it was just crazy rocking. And Matt Khalil, who's an All-American, you know, top 10 NFL pick, he was so calm before the game. He was just having like a normal conversation minutes before the game kicked off. And then you have other guys that are just like headbutting each other and, you know, totally, you know, losing their mind. What's your pregame energy like?
Honestly, I'd say like my least favorite thing about games is like the hours leading up to it, because you're just sitting there like, man, like I just want to play. Like I just want it to start already. Like, but there's definitely a little bit of everything there. You know, like there's time to be quiet, but then there's times to like really just like hype people up and bring the energy up. So I'd say it's you know, try and get into a little bit of everything, because you're trying to bring everybody up, but then there's times where like, all right, it's time to lock in and focus. Like, there's no reason for me to headbutt like 5 dudes when it's time to lock in.
Do you prefer day games then, so you have less time to sit around and wait?
Yeah, the earlier games are awesome. Yeah. Just because, I mean, you're still getting up early for the later games because you don't want to sleep in too much. Cause I feel like I end up getting tired. But just waiting for so long is the worst, because you just want to get out there and start playing. It's so much fun. So.
We asked Marcelus this about who stood out in the wide receiver room. Mm-hmm. Flip it around to ask you the same question. Who in the defensive line room has stood out so far or through spring practice?
It's actually pretty awesome, because I feel like there's nobody on the D-line room that hasn't had plays where you're like, wow, like that was a really amazing play. Like everybody's had really good flashes. Obviously all the starting returners like are really great players, but then you've got some young guys that are making a lot of really good plays as well. So it's great to see like from starters all the way to the deepest in the depth chart, like everybody's has like really good flashes out there. So it's awesome. Getting the O-line better as well, just playing against really good players like that.
We have this phenomenally talented freshman class that mostly is here and is coming in. People will see this fall. But we're talking to Coach Riley about it, and it does seem like offensive line is the one position that it takes a little time. It tends to, you know, you tend to want to develop offensive linemen more than just, you know, hey, just go out there as a freshman and be talented, which we can see at some other positions. Why is that? As a guy who was developed here, I mean, you know, I don't remember your name being called your true freshman year. You were just sort of a guy out on the practice field, and we saw you. And then, you know, now over the years, you've become a stalwart on this team. Why is it?
You know, O-line's just a tough spot, like physically, and then but more mentally. Like everybody that gets recruited here obviously has like the physical capability to be able to start and be a great player here, whether that's, I mean, they might have to put on a little bit of weight like I did or lose a little weight, but the mental aspect is one of the tougher parts, because as an O-line you've got to be in unison. The center makes a call, and then if the right tackle sees something, the left tackle needs to know that we might push out to it or move the ID to it. So the mental aspect is one of the tougher spots, and I think this freshman class has been doing a great job of just growing and learning that pretty fast. It's actually pretty impressive. I think they're one of the fastest learning freshman classes we've had here so far.
It's because they have great leaders. They got a good coach, too, and Zach Hansen. I was going to ask you about him, but we're out of time. But this is a great group. I can't wait to watch you guys go out there and play, and there's more talent even behind you on the depth chart. So we really have, it was like Lincoln Riley's first focus, I think, when he came in here was building up that line of scrimmage, and now you look at the depth chart, and it's a lot more where he wants it to be, and it's thanks to guys like you. So appreciate you taking the time. Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the Three Torches presented by Smart and Final. It's a free newsletter. It'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3torches and sign up. And Stone IPA has inspired a generation of brewers and beer lovers. Made in Southern California, Stone Brewing's first anniversary ale continues to be today's iconic West Coast style IPA. Crisp, light-bodied, and packed with hoppy flavor. Located at fine.stonebrewing.com. We're going to pivot away from football here next as USC women's water polo #1 in the country and just knocked off the Bruins. That sounds like 2 great things to talk about with Ava Stryker next on Trojans Live. Trojans Live is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino, a proud partner of USC Athletics. Jordan Moore, Eli Kleinmann, and Ava Stryker joins us, one of the leading scorers on this #1 USC women's water polo team that wrapped up, I guess, the regular season in style by knocking off UCLA. It was a little bit of a revenge win for you guys. You know, how did it feel? Did you feel like you sort of solidified that #1 ranking now that you've beaten Stanford and UCLA, the teams behind you?
Totally. It's definitely satisfying to, our only 2 losses of the season were against UCLA, so definitely a little bit of revenge coming at them, especially at home with such a enthusiastic crowd. And yeah, beating Stanford was amazing. Yeah, so I'm definitely not satisfied with our performances because it's comforting knowing that we still have so much to improve on, and yet we still defeated those teams. So yeah, but it's definitely cool to see the work we put in pay off and go undefeated in regular season. So.
And knowing you will see those teams again in all likelihood in the MPSF tournament and then in the NCAA tournament, how much confidence does it build when you can get those wins over the Stanford team and UCLA as well?
So much confidence, yeah. And just the amount of fun that we were having while having success too. Huge confidence builder, and I think just good feelings all around from the team, just having success. But like I said, it's comforting knowing that like we watch film obviously and see all those mistakes that we made that are so fixable, and we made those mistakes yet we can still perform better without them. And yeah.
As Eli mentioned, you play a lot of the same teams when we get to sort of the business end of the season. What's that like in terms of the familiarity in the pool? You must know their tactics really well, but how much do you know the girls on the other team?
Pretty well, with national teams, along with the regular season. I mean, it's always the top 4 teams are pretty much the same every year.
Yep.
So you definitely get familiar, and that can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing. We always say humble enough to prepare, confident enough to perform. But it doesn't get too chit chatty in the water, but occasional jokes will be made with people I'm close with, and we put it aside out of the pool, which is always great, knowing that they have the character to do that and trust in me that I'll do it too. But yeah, it's fun.
You guys have such a balanced offensive attack, so many weapons offensively. How has that really helped down the stretch of the season against these really good teams?
Yeah, we do have a lot of offensive firepower. I think our defense kind of struggles in the beginning of games. Like, UCLA went up 3-1 on us, but the fact that our offensive power is still there has been it's encouraging to know that we can rely on that a little bit and have a lot of options on offense as far as different people scoring. And yeah, it's been fun.
Can you walk me through offensive strategy a little bit? I've watched many water polo game over the years, but the roster seems to have changed. Kind of everyone's like listed as an attacker now. I feel like there used to be different names for positions, and now everyone's just called an attacker. What is your role in the offense, and how much? You sort of talked about the options. How much optionality is there in the role? Are you taking up the same spot each time you sort of set up in what I'll call the half court?
Yeah.
At the half pool, or is there a lot of versatility and you guys are swapping spots a ton?
Yeah, water polo is pretty unique in that the way we kind of split up our positions is based on the sides of the pool, if that makes sense. So like there's the 1-2 side and then the 4-6 side, we call it. Some people call it 4-5. But yeah, the attackers are traditionally faster, move up and down, can play offense and defense. And then if you're left-handed, usually play on the 4-6 side. And then, so I personally play on the 4-6 side as a righty. So it's broken up like that, if that makes sense. And then obviously we have goalie and center defenders who are traditionally more bigger, kind of like in basketball. But yeah, it's everyone should be able to do a little bit of both, because you do, as an attacker, you do go in on a drive, we call it, and post up is what we use the term for. So yeah, it is very versatile. Everyone's pretty versatile on our team, which is good because everyone can do a little defending, everyone can post up, and that's a team we love to have, like you were saying, offensive options.
The post, or it used to be called, is it still called a driver?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the least fun to me. It just looks like you're getting drowned for most of
the centers or the
yes,
yeah.
It's just a wrestling match in there, and I have no idea what's happening under the water level.
I have so much respect for center defenders and centers, but yeah, I know you had Rachel in here. She is literally best in the country, I would say. But yeah, they don't get a lot of recognition, which is sad. But they do all the dirty work. They're behind the scenes, coordinating our defense. They're like our quarterback of our defense, essentially. So yeah, literally under the water, pushing, drowning, pretending like we're drowning, arm slaps, everything.
Is there a lot of flopping in water polo?
Oh, you can see
it's just an epidemic everywhere.
I saw you're 9-0 in sprints this year, which obviously is how you start quarters. You have 8 field blocks as well. Which one fires you up more, if you had to say?
Field blocks.
Okay.
But, I mean, running the sprint is pretty cool because it's a definite one-on-one moment. But I'd say shot blocks, everyone just gets so fired up when you make a shot block, especially if it leads to an offensive attack going the other way. But yeah, it's always a good feeling when so in someone's face,
You've played for the national team. We're getting the Olympics here in 2028. Is that somewhere in the front or the back of your mind as a dream, as a goal?
Definitely. Yeah. It's crazy how fast it's coming up. At first being like scared to admit that I like want to do that. It's a vulnerable thing to say,
Sure.
with the fear of failing and everything. But yeah, it's definitely front of my mind, especially the national team coaches put a lot of emphasis on the work that we need to be doing while we're not together, because other teams internationally get to train so much as a team throughout the year. And we just don't get that here, unfortunately, just because of colleges being separated. So, yeah, it's definitely been at the more forefront of my mind this year compared to years past.
All right, you got MPSFs coming up and then NCAs. What do you guys need to sharpen up here to finish this thing off?
Yeah, I'd say a big emphasis is defense, just being more connected and really finishing through possessions with steals, blocks, and team-specific like defense for other teams. They look all the same, but teams play differently just based on who they have, center power versus shooting power. So really nailing in our defenses based on those offenses, I would say.
All right, on the championship hunt, make sure you follow this team. Actually, the championships won't be too far, right? Just down the road in La Jolla. So a lot of USC fans for sure in that area. So come on out and support this squad as they're looking to bring home the Natty. Thanks so much for taking the time, Ava. Speaking of champions, Madison Whyte from USC Women's Track and Field is next on Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Eli Kleinmann, Madison Whyte representing our women of Troy here. USC Women's Track and Field superstar, Big Ten champion, a 400-meter sprinter, now a junior here at USC. Great to have you. Welcome to Trojans Live. You're in a transitional period here. You went from indoor season to outdoor season. You've had a couple meets under your belt outside under the sun. What's the biggest change? How does that transition go for a 400-meter runner?
Indoor is usually really tight. Like the track itself is really tight. So we're really excited to go outdoors and have just one lap to do for the 400 instead of two. And then being able to stretch out. My legs are really long, so it's really great to just be outside, no bent curve and no tight turns. It's just being able to stretch out.
Bend curve is crazy because it's like a car. Like that's how car races are, like tracks. But to have a human being do it, it's got to feel weird.
Yes, especially when you're lanky.
You were part of the 4x100 relay. You guys were the national champions last year. You guys are ranked number 1. I saw currently this season. What's the mindset as you guys look to defend that title this season?
Just staying consistent. We are the same team basically. Just doing what we did last year, just that got us there. So obviously we're trying to get the title back and make sure everyone knows that we're not going anywhere and we're still a threat. We're still USC.
Got to pass that baton cleanly.
Exactly.
It comes down to that baton pass. Is the 400 the toughest race in the track?
I may be a little biased, but yes, it is.
I've always heard that, right? I mean, obviously 100, gets so much glory, but you're basically all out
for a lap. Yeah.
Yeah, for a lap, and tend to look the most gassed when the race is over. A 400 runner is like, with people like us are like trying to interview. I always watch those interviews, and it's just like you're interviewing this person who literally looks like they're dying on the track.
Yes. Yes, and we never have like 30 minutes to rest. No. Like we need the interview like 2 minutes, and we're like, maybe come back tomorrow. Actually,
yeah, that's really the media relations skill here. Is how many words can you get out while you're trying to get some oxygen back in your lungs?
I don't even know. I try to breathe in between each word. Actually,
is 400 your favorite distance to run?
No, 200 is my favorite distance, yeah. But I'm slowly kind of starting to like the 400, but very slowly. Not. Yeah.
What's it like having a head coach who's an Olympic gold medalist in the 400? I mean, I imagine that was part of the draw of coming here. Quincy's one of our favorite guys. I mean, you have a great coaching staff overall, but to to have somebody of that caliber leading our track program has to mean something to somebody who's trying to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating because like he has a accolades to back up whatever he's saying.
He's not an intimidating guy, though, is he?
He's not. Yeah, he's not. I mean, sometimes, but
I was gonna say, I'm sure you see different sides of him than I have. Yeah.
Sometimes he is, but it gives him a lot of credibility, and like we trust him. So if you say this works, then okay. So and we'll see it on the track.
Is that part of the draw for getting you out here because you came all the way across country to join our program?
Yeah, Coach Watts definitely helped me get here. He really was the motivation to get here, and I think he just also going so far away from home. I'm from Virginia, so coming here I really wanted to get like a second father figure, and I think Coach Watts, he has his own kids, so I think he really nails that down anyway, so I just felt at home. Yeah.
Adding on to the legacy, the Women of Troy track team has had so many historic sprinters, whether it's Allison Felix or T.T. Terry, who was just in the Olympics, and Anna Cockrell. Does that provide confidence? Is it a little intimidating knowing those are the people who came before you? How do you go about thinking about stuff like that?
It's a little bit of all the above. Intimidating because it's like, okay, you have to be one of them. You have to uphold the image, but it's also such an honor, and I hold a lot of pride in being at a school and wearing the same uniform that all those really talented people did the same thing. So it's all the above, yeah.
Yeah, she mentioned she's from Virginia. She's from Newport News, Virginia. Eli, do you know the most famous athlete to come out of Newport News, Virginia?
I cannot say I do.
The first one that came to mind for me is Michael Vick. Is he the most famous athlete to come out of Newport News, Virginia?
Yeah, I think so. I think Allen Iverson is from...
Well, I thought of Iverson as well. He's technically from Hampton. Is that like next door?
Yeah, basically next door.
Okay, because those were the two names that came to mind. And when I was doing my research, I always got to prepare for these things. He's technically from Hampton, but that same area. And that's why I know. I mean, it's kind of a funny name for a town, honestly. But that's why I've always heard the name. What's it like? What's Newport News like?
There's not much, honestly. I mean, like, if you want to actually do something, you'd probably go to Virginia Beach or Williamsburg, where there's Busch Gardens, the amusement park. But Newport News, there's nothing there. It's just food, maybe.
Do you like L.A.?
I love L.A. I want my whole family to come out here, honestly. It's really great.
So you guys get into outdoor and start getting ready for some of the big meets, including the rivalry meet and then NCAA. What's the biggest focus on what you guys are working on?
We've done all of our training in the fall. All of that preparation will not go to waste. So we're just doing what we know best, and just putting everything out there, and leaving no doubt.
Leave no doubt. I like that. I like the sound of that. The dual meet is here this year, so you can watch USC UCLA square off on the track. Otherwise, Madison's going to be traveling around this country running fast. NCAs are in Eugene yet again, so great opportunity. Can't wait to watch to see where you go this year, and good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for taking the time with us on Trojans Live. We just have one more segment to come here. You're listening to Trojans Live. One final segment of Trojans Live for the whole spring. We'll catch up with you again early. We get a week 0 football game this year, so we'll get going in August again with the new season of Trojans Live and the new season of USC Football and USC Athletics. But a big spring ahead, which is the topic of my over-under presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC Athletics. Eli, it's your first over-under. I gave it. This is nice and easy, bud.
Okay.
Over under a half a national championship for USC this spring. Women's water polo number 1, women's golf number 2, beach and men's volleyball both in the top 5 mix.
I'll go over.
Ava convinced you, right?
Ava's got me convinced.
Yeah.
This is the year. They came close last year.
Yeah, they've been close a lot, and it always comes down to, as you said, USC or UCLA or Stanford. At the end, and it's going to be down in La Jolla, so hopefully they get it done. I got a really good feeling about this women's golf team too. They win pretty much every tournament that they line up at. Women's golf is a little bit more of a crapshoot kind of tournament thing. It's I don't know if it's harder to win, but it's a difficult format, and never give up on USC Beach and what Dane Blanton's doing and all those. But we're happy to have you and thrilled that you got to co-host with us today. What's the women's basketball offseason looking like? I think everyone I'm calling it the most anticipated women's basketball season in 40 years coming up.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited to watch the return of Juju Watkins. I mean, she was at Team USA camp over the weekend.
Yeah, just a picture of her
frenzy has everybody going crazy. So I think we're all looking forward to that next season.
Yeah, and they brought in Sanaya Hall, who was the MVP of the McDonald's All-American game. Jazzy coming off an all freshman season or for National Freshman of the Year. It really could be a special season ahead.
Not a team lacking in talent. A lot of younger players, but I think the talent speaks for itself, and that's what makes next year really exciting.
You got a pick for tonight's game, UConn-Michigan men's national championship. We won't talk about what happened in the women's national.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. I think Michigan gets it done. I think the Big Ten sweeps the Big Three championships this year.
I mentioned it, I think, on the last Trojans Live that UCLA is the first women's champion for the Big Ten since '99. Michigan could end the drought on the men's side. Until the fall, we will see you. Fight on, and thanks to everyone.